Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be tracking a lot of stuff. First one will pretty much be tomorrow. Be watching for your chance of severe weather across portions of the Midwest, maybe back down across portions of the Southern Plains. We're also watching a possibility for a lot of rain across portions of the plains into the lower Ohio Valley. We're also watching for the potential for a lot, and then we mean a lot of snow across portions of Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming, and maybe into portions of New Mexico. And we also got to be keeping an eye on for a possibility for a multi-day severe weather event to be going on across a pretty good area, pretty much from the portions of the Southern Plains through the Arctic, the Mississippi Valley, into the Tennessee Valley, the Lower Ohio Valley. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're gonna go through this in order by the time. So let's go ahead and get started with tomorrow's severe weather threat. So we're going to have a pretty decently strong low. And also, by the way, could be a decent amount of snow coming in for portions of South Dakota, Nebraska. This could be continuing to move to the northeast. So some of you guys can see several inches of snow. But the main area of focus for severe weather will be in this zone right in here. And these storms will likely start to fire up into the overnight hours because there's going to be a cap near the surface. And that's going to prevent storms from developing. That's making the air more suppressed. That's pretty much what it means there. And you can see here, this is 6Z. This is early in the morning on Thursday. You can see here we got a line of showers, of thunderstorms. Some of them could be on the strong to severe side of things, and that's something we're going to watch for as well, which we'll take a look to Spc Outlook real quick. So this is today, maybe some thunder across pretty much along the west coast. And also some thunder around the Corn Belt, around portions of Iowa. Day 2, which is tomorrow, we got a slight risk for severe weather across western Missouri, which includes Kansas City. We also got Wichita involved, so that's southeastern Kansas and into the far northern part of Oklahoma. The tornado threat's not there, but we can see a little bit of wind, but the hail is going to be your primary threat there as well, so gotta watch out for the chance for some hail. And it could be quite large too. We gotta keep an eye on that as well. And we'll take a look into the HER model with this. So this is now getting into Wednesday. Looks like we could have a round of showers and thunderstorms going through portions of Iowa, eventually getting into portions of Wisconsin and even into Minnesota. And then, oh wow, actually didn't see this. It actually shows a supercell in northwestern Wisconsin. We'll actually get a sounding out of that. Oh, wow. That's actually pretty impressive. May need to watch for that. Some also been indicating a possibility for some supercells for southeastern Minnesota to western Wisconsin. That may have to be an area to watch here. Some also been hinting on that, so we may get to see a marginal risk or maybe even a slight risk get issued up there. And then bam, here we go. When the cap breaks, as we get to the overnight hours, you can see here with your line of thunderstorms developing along that cold front. You can see here from southeastern Iowa all the way back down to eastern Kansas. And you can see some of these pink dots here, some dark purple. As an indication of some either heavy rain or just hail getting mixed in with some of the storms. You can see here we get some pretty good storm coverage along that front. And then when we get to the early morning hours on Thursday, the severe weather threat's pretty much over with at that point. But there could be a strong storm somewhere in there. We're going to see about that. And there's going to be a decent amount of cape in place, so the ingredients will be in place for some severe weather across some of these zones here. And that'll be something to watch for as well. So that's that part done. Let's go to take a look into the next threat. As this front starts to stack to the south here, it's going to become stationary. And it's going to be stationary across southeastern Kansas, southern Missouri, southern Illinois, Indiana, to portions of Kentucky, into southern Ohio, portions of Pennsylvania. And it just kind of sticks around there for a little bit. And you get multiple rounds of showers of thunderstorms across really from eastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, across southern Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, into portions of Kentucky. There'll be a chance for some flooding across those areas there, and we'll take a look to a couple things for the flooding side of things. And this is for the rain for the next 7 days. Let's actually back this up to the next 5 days. Here we go. This is a little bit better. So this is pretty much throughout the entire event, at least for the first round, after we're going to see a pretty active pattern. You can see here about the Weather Prediction Center, they get a widespread 2+ inches from northern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, through most of Missouri to southern Illinois to southern Indiana here. These will be the areas to watch for the possibility for some flooding, even for areas down across portions of Kentucky where the ground is very saturated. Yeah, it's not going to take a whole lot of rain across some of these areas in here to have some flooding issues. Mainly for aerial flooding, just areas that typically see flooding. So we're going to watch for that, as well for the possibility for some flooding. Now, what's the most accurate model in my opinion? I think it has to go to the GFS at this point. And it's basically ridiculously high for some rainfall totals, but this may be a little bit accurate. Let me tell you guys why. On the event back across Kentucky, where we had some historical flooding, the models were well underdone. We're pretty much talking about every single one, probably except for the HER model that's done the best job out of other ones. They were off by like, I mean, what the models were indicating for rainfall maps, some areas got double than that, than what models were indicating. Now, I'm not saying for the GFS model these rainfall maps are going to be double, which is showing 6 to 7 inches. I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, when you're going to have multiple rounds of showers of thunderstorms, you're likely going to see a lot of rain out of this. Now, I cannot rule out some areas getting over 5 inches of rain. I mean, that's isolated areas, but more widespread will be like anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain to be more widespread. And in isolated areas could see 4 to maybe 5 inches of rain with isolated 5 plus in some places. And I think the GFS, has a pretty accurate estimation here with the rainfall totals, which shows some areas picking up close to 7 inches, that may be a little bit overdone. But this is something we're going to watch closely here. And some of these areas actually do need rain, but this is a little too much rain just for a short period of time. I mean, this is just through Saturday evening, and we got rainfall amounts that high. And this pretty much be like a 2-day event. I mean, it begins on, looks to be Thursday night, and it ends on Saturday evening. So it's going to be a pretty much a 2-day event. So we're going to watch for that, for the possibility for flooding, mainly across southern Missouri. It looks to be the bullseye for right now, but it can also include portions of northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, through southern Illinois, into portions of Kentucky. So that's that event out of the way. Let's go back to the severe weather side of things. We could be looking at a multi-day severe weather event. This is day 3, which if I'm correct, this is Friday. Yep, this is Friday. We got a march order risk for severe weather across western Texas through central Oklahoma into northwestern Arkansas, southern Missouri, southeastern Kansas. All hazards may be a possibility with this setup. But then as we get to days 4 through 8, this is day 4. We got a 50% slight risk across Oklahoma and portions of Texas. And again, all hazards are possible. Day 5, similar areas. 50% slight risk, southern Kansas, a good chunk of Oklahoma, and down into central Texas. Day 6, which is Sunday to Monday. We got a 50% slight risk across eastern Oklahoma, eastern Texas, northern Louisiana, most of Arkansas, southwestern Missouri, and southeastern Kansas into far western Mississippi. That's pretty much it there. So we got the possibility for a multi-day severe weather event over a pretty large area. When you talk about portions of the Severn Plains, and even into portions of the South as well. And that's stuff we're going to watch pretty closely here. And we'll take it to a couple models here and see what they're showing here. So this is kind of getting into, this is where I believe we have, yeah, the margin of risk. Man, I cannot figure this out. Apologize, guys. But this is getting into Friday evening. You can see where we do have some scattered showers of thunderstorm activity. Then as we get to Sunday, this is where things start to get pretty interesting. And look back across Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado. Look at those areas, man. You got a low somewhere right in here. And look at all this snow going on. We'll get to that in a moment. But you can see here we got a line of possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms. These are eventually going to be moving to the east here across Oklahoma and Texas. You can see here how they go. Then as we kind of get into Sunday evening, you got a line of showers of thunderstorms now getting into eastern Texas, western Arkansas, eastern Kansas, eventually getting into western Missouri. You see how that continues to move to the east and then it should die out, possibly somewhere along the Mississippi River Valley, but then it starts to pick up steam again as we kind of get to a little bit more daytime heating. Eventually getting into Monday evening, you got a line of possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms, really from southern Indiana all the way back down into southeastern Texas. Now it's starting to get far away from the low, which your main low is right here. You've probably got your occluded front, like uh, something like this here. Then you got your cold front right here, and then you got your warm front basically like right in here. So definitely something we're gonna watch for severe weather, and this is gonna be a widespread event. Now we do have some uncertainty of when it's gonna be dying out. It's gonna be dying out somewhere in this region here. So, and this is leading into day 7, which we do have some uncertainties here. But areas that I do have highlighted in red still has the possibility to see some severe weather. But something to watch pretty closely here. Let's actually take a look to some other models here. And I have these on the wrong run. Whoops. We put all those in the correct run here. Really quick here. And the uncertainties here, as we kind of get further to the east across the lower Hall Valley, Tennessee Valley, across the south, it's really got to depend on those dew points, your instability, which is your CAPE, which the numbers are looking to be low for right now, but I did see a couple models, at least on the 60 run this morning, show a much better environment for severe weather, which that means higher CAPE numbers and also higher dew point numbers. Which things like a couple models did back off, which I do expect that. I mean, that's very typical for models to do, is for models to go back and forth. So let's take a look to the GFS and look at that snow across Colorado. I mean, those higher elevations will be experiencing some very heavy snow. Meanwhile, in the warm sector, you got a line of strong to possibly severe thunderstorms, really all the way down to possibly down to the Mexico border. You can see how those storms start continuing to east. Things like they die out at one point here, but things like they kind of regenerate as they kind of get into Arkansas, and eventually continues to move east, eventually into portions of Tennessee, Kentucky, and northern Alabama. And that's where we have some uncertainties here. It even shows some snow across northern Illinois. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But it'll be something to watch there pretty closely. If we look to the Gfs V16, which I believe this is coming out March 15th. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is coming out pretty soon here. I think it's right around the corner. But pretty similar setup. Go surface low, southwestern Kansas, western Oklahoma. Pretty much the same like the GFS pretty much. Even shows snow potential for northern Illinois. I mean, even for Minnesota, northeastern Iowa, southwestern Wisconsin, even showing some freezing rain across northern Illinois into portions of Ohio and Michigan. That's gonna be a little bit interesting to watch here, and then that dies out, and then we gotta watch the next system here, and that could bring in another severe weather threat for some other areas as well. And we can quickly take a look at the Canadian model. You can see here nearly the same thing here, although it does wrap up. It's also a little bit stronger low when it wraps it around in the central plains there. And then your next system comes by Wednesday, next Wednesday of next week. So again, it's gonna be something to watch there as well. So let's talk about some of these severe weather ingredients here, and we'll take a look into your 500 millibar, actually 850 millibar high winds. So this is what we call your low-level jet here, and this could help, you know, create a little bit of a damaging wind threat with some of these thunderstorms here. And depending on how strong the winds could be at 850 millibars, some of that could come down to the surface here. And you can see here with the GFS ball, you got winds could be as high as 55 knots, which is equivalent to about 60-mile-an-hour winds, which is severe territory. You can see how it continues to move to the east. And eventually, as it kind of gets to Kentucky, Tennessee, we still got low-level winds about 50 knots, which is about 55 miles an hour. So there could be a severe weather threat, really just generally some of these areas in here. Pretty much here. So you got some decently strong winds in the low-level jet. And like I said, there's not going to be a whole lot of cape around as we kind of get into around day 7, which is like Monday for the Lower Hall Valley, Tennessee Valley. But let's focus a little bit more back across the Severn Plains here. You can see here with the setup here for the chance for some severe weather. This is Saturday evening. You got cape numbers over 1,000 across portions of Texas here. There actually may be a cap here. Yep. We do have a cap in place, but although that actually may break, it's we kind of get into the overnight hours. So let's try to get another sounding here. Still a cap there. But eventually that cap is going to break there as well. And you can see here as we kind of get a little bit further east here, we don't really have a whole lot of cape to work with. So that's actually a decent sounding here. The photograph, not really that supportive there for severe weather. But again, something to watch here closely. I'm always been going back and forth to a good environment to a not so good environment. So it'll be something to watch. We'll also take a look into the superset composites. So this is a combination of cape and wind shear. This is surface based. You can see here as we get into tomorrow, you got pretty decently high numbers, but keep in mind there's going to be a strong cap in place. So that's going to be the reason why we're going to have such high numbers there. Then as you kind of get to the next event, you can see here what some of your supercell composite numbers are elevated across western Texas, western Oklahoma, even across southwestern Kansas, and even eastern New Mexico as well. We'll get a sounding out there. Not really a good environment. Got a strong cap going on. Kind of a mess. But again, it'll be something to watch pretty closely here. And we'll lastly take a look into the dew points, which is going to be one of the limiting factors across some of these areas out in here. Well, maybe not for the deep south, but when you get a little further north. And you can see here as we get into Friday evening, you've got widespread 60 plus dew points. That's supportive for thunderstorm activity and severe weather. Then here's your cold front right here. And you can see here you got that little sliver of 60 dew points. You can see here how it kind of dies down as it moves to the east. There's well. But again, this is just something to watch pretty closely. And like I was talking about all that snow for Colorado, Wyoming, portions of Nebraska, maybe into southern South Dakota. We're going to kind of let this play here. I'm going to show you guys how much snow could possibly fall till Sunday. I mean Monday. There you go. And you can see here, you could be looking at a chance for 50 plus inches of snow out across portions of eastern Wyoming, and even possibility for over 2 feet of snow. And this is mainly for the higher elevations, but this is a lot of snow for the higher elevations just for a short period of time. And even could be a lot of snow for portions of Nebraska, South Dakota, and these areas here don't really have much of any higher elevations. So, yeah, that could be a lot of snow coming across those areas there. And we'll look into the GFS as well. Just going to let this play here until Monday evening. And there could be another round of snow after this, so it's definitely something to watch here. And you can see how these snowfall totals just really add up. And there you go. A little bit further south, it's actually a little bit more focused across the mountains of really nearby Denver, Colorado, Colorado Springs, out across those areas in there. And I believe that's about 70 inches. Correct me if I'm wrong. I wish this thing could work here where it could actually tell us the numbers. But either way, that's 60 plus inches of snow across those areas there. So a lot of snow is going to be coming for these areas. And this is not unusual. Keep in mind. Typically, the snowiest month across portions of Wyoming and Colorado, it's actually March and maybe April too. I'm not sure about April, but March is typically your snowiest month for all year. So this is pretty normal for some of these areas here to have quite a bit of snow here. So this is definitely something to watch here pretty closely here. So just keep in mind for people that live in portions of Colorado, even into portions of Nebraska and Wyoming, maybe into South Dakota and even for the mountains of northern New Mexico. Just keep in mind there could be a lot of snow coming really later this week into early next week. You can see here with for some of the next couple systems that could be coming by after that as well. So, but then again, just something to watch pretty closely here. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.